Ladies and gentlemen, happy freaking Monday. We're back from the biggest sporting event of the year.
I think this was the Super Bowl.
This was the Super Bowl, yeah.
I saw more posts this weekend about a sporting event. It was not the LSU Alabama game, which was, in my opinion, the biggest sporting event of the year.
Because of Trump or because the game?
No, just the game, like as a huge college football fan.
I just don't know anything about college football.
And then Trump comes.
Cheered.
People love him.
Harrison was cheering.
Harrison was cheering?
Did you hear him in the video? Did he send a video?
He's too scared to send it.
I'm sure he was cheering because he was wasted with a MAGA hat on.
Yeah.
I think he just picked the right spot, and they silenced all the other people, threatened to punish if you didn't cheer for Trump.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. And, I watched the game. I pretty much watched like 3/4, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is the widest fucking stadium I've ever seen.
I would imagine. What was it? Alabama versus who?
LSU.
Yeah.
And
in Alabama,
obviously the people on the field were black, but not the stands.
No.
Well, the quarterback of LSU is white.
Okay.
And the quarterback of Alabama's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But the stands.
The stands.
We're talking about the stands. Are all
not good-looking people either.
Sheesh.
Pretty ugly crowd.
Okay, that's what Dee said, guys. So our Alabama fan base.
I mean, Alabama might as well be in fucking Argentina. I'm never going there. I've actually been to Argentina. I'll never go.
I don't think you will. I don't think you should. Okay, back to the topic that matters. The biggest sporting event of the year. And I would argue that if you could count up all impressions, it's probably bigger than the Super Bowl.
I would say it's on par.
Okay, we're talking about the Logan Paul KSI boxing match. And luckily, because we are such a thorough news outlet.
We had Rachel Nichols there live.
Yes, Rachel Nichols in the field.
A.K.A. Taylor.
So Taylor was there. Taylor was real close to the ring. Give us a recap, man. What'd you...
Well, first of all, thanks for sending me there. I have the receipts and everything from the dinners and everything else.
Yeah, how'd you get your tickets?
He was on some rich Jewish shit. Like I saw.
Did you buy tickets?
I did it. My friend Cam is connected with someone at Dazn, whatever that app was.
DAZN.
It's the worst name.
DAZN?
DAZN.
It's DAZN.
Yeah, I thought it was DAZN.
I was searching for it because I was
like,
I want to
so
buy
much money. It's the head of ESPN that runs it now.
Exactly.
Skipper.
Yeah.
I was looking for how to get the fight, and then finally they were like, subscribe to it for $100 for the whole year.
Exactly.
And I was like, I don't want
a monthly thing. But we ended up sitting like actually ringside, and I was asking Cam what the face value was. It was like $650 face value on these tickets. It was the most wild event ever. So let me preface this by saying I've been going to Staples Center since I was like 10. And been to like every Clipper game, Laker game.
Look at that. Look
Clipper.
Yeah.
Why are you going to First Staples, you're rich. Clippers, you're poor. So which one is it?
I've been to both. I've played both sides of that card in my life. And the energy here was unlike anything else, which I've ever...
You sent us a video, 2 hours before? And everyone was already there?
Yeah, so we get there and there's like I don't think Logan probably came on to like 9 or 10, but we got there like at 6 or 7 because there's all these undercards. And the undercards that like, no one cared about are actually like professional boxing.
Oh, they're not YouTubers.
No, they're like real heavyweight, like, or not just title fights. Like they're really insane. Like these are some of the best boxers. Like someone was saying this guy was the next Floyd Mayweather that was there, like 25-0, like legit ass fighters that no one cared about at all.
It should have been all YouTubers.
They should have, but these were real, like professional fighters doing title fights. And it's so funny, like in the middle of one of the fights, I think I sent some videos, like the whole crowd, like in the middle of like there's 2 rounds left in the fight, the title fight, some of these huge boxers, Amanda Cerny walks in one side of Staples Center, the whole crowd turns that way. Everyone's backs to the fight, just watching her walk down the aisle, trying to take pictures with her. And when everyone came in one by one, and I'm telling you, every single YouTuber in the world was there. From the Casey Neistats of the world, to the King Batches, to the... If you are anyone, yes, there was there. Anyone relevant in YouTube, it was like the most probably following per capita, per seat, bigger than any Laker game.
Yeah.
And I actually had to argue with my friend Cam about this, and I was like, this is more studded than any Laker game. Yeah. And he was like, no, Laker games has like Will Ferrell and Jack Nicklaus or whoever. And I was
they
like,
have no followers.
They have no followers. That's what I said.
Will
I was
Ferrell?
like, those people, like a 17-year-old wouldn't know who those people are.
Yeah.
Like this is it. And then in terms of mainstream celebrities, like, so we get there, the fight's coming on. Logan comes out, all this hype. People are going absolutely nuts. KSI walks out. Rick Ross is performing a walkout song for him. And it's Rick Ross and DaBaby, or Lil Baby, whatever that guy's name is. In,
It's Lil Baby.
Lil Baby.
There's a lot of babies.
Yeah, a lot of babies now. They're in KSI's corner. And then in Logan's corner, he has Chris Brown and Justin Bieber rooting for him. And, Logan, they show on the screen before he comes out, he's doing a prayer circle with Justin Bieber, and Bieber's leading him in prayer. Logan walks out next to Bieber. They come out.
So the Bieber prayer circle's on screen.
It came on screen and then they walked out. Bieber's walking side by side with him.
Okay.
And you're just like, what the heck is going on? And it was insane.
What was Logan Paul's song that he came out to?
I forget what song he came out to. But we were sitting like right next to Bieber and Chris Brown, and they were actually going nuts. Like Bieber was losing his shit, like going nuts for Logan.
I mean, I just saw highlights because I fell asleep by the time.
And there was some controversy, right?
Well, so yeah, they started fighting, and they're actually like, both are monsters. Like they've been training for this. Like
They looked.
Logan's like 6'2", 200 pounds
And
of
by
pure
the
muscle.
way, the interesting thing about this fight is those two both took steroids. 100%.
I mean, they look like it.
yeah, they're so jacked.
they're-
Both those guys.
Logan was almost too shredded. He like couldn't move. And the fight comes out, and like they're actually good fighters, and they're hitting each other really hard. KSI comes out like throwing just crazy hooks left and right, haymakers.
Who is KSI?
So it
He's a
stands-
Nigerian rapper.
No, he's a British dude. I guess he started like
He's a
Nigerian rapper, he's
YouTuber from
British.
the UK.
But he's Nigerian.
I know. But,
I think he is Nigerian. He
but
started like
Nigerian rapper, I don't think is the right. He's still a YouTuber from the UK.
But he's still Nigerian.
you're not an Indian CFO.
Like, do you want facts or do you
I'm
want to just
saying,
like mislead
titling
everyone?
him a Nigerian rapper is not what he is.
Are you
He's
an Indian podcaster?
Yes, that's true.
That is true.
That is true.
That is true. Okay, fine.
All right, go.
So KSI comes out hot the first couple rounds, and then just like was pretty much kicking Logan's ass. Logan had better stamina, but by the end he had lost because KSI just whooped his ass for the first 4 rounds. Logan said after he was too calm. He came out too calm because Bieber led him in prayer and we got him too relaxed. He said Bieber told him to chill too much and he chilled out too much.
So he's blaming Bieber for the loss.
He was, and then he also like after the press conference, Logan was like, "I woke up sick. I woke up sneezed 4 times today. First thing right away. Like I was sick." Just like making fun. I mean, he's kind of making a joke about it.
Yeah.
But they took it really seriously. The energy in there was unreal. Like
But you said-
infectious.
Was
But you
there merch available for purchase?
There was no merch.
Really?
Which I think there was the hustlers outside Staples Center selling the $10 screen printed
Yeah,
t-shirts.
but there wasn't like
Nothing
you couldn't
inside.
buy like the
No.
fight tee.
That's
Wow.
so weird. Why would
Yeah,
you give up
I'm
that much?
surprised.
Everyone would have bought that.
And
would've
what
been
type of
crazy.
people, like if you went and just walked down like where the food is and all that stuff, is it a bunch of like really young kids? Like what?
So
are
it
they-
Everyone
was
from
actually-
Calabasas and
yeah.
Beverly Hills High School.
It was older than I thought. It was probably like 17 to 25, but like Off-White, Hype Beast. It was like
Rich
Complex
kids.
Con. It was like it seemed like everyone was like all in the hype. Like they all dressed like the YouTube hype kind of stuff. There's so much Off-White, so much just like hype. It was YouTube's like hype culture kind of.
Yeah.
It was really hype.
and I saw
Supreme?
that.
Was there a lot of Supreme?
A lot of Supreme.
That's
And-
the Supreme crowd.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they are.
It is the Supreme crowd. And all
Yeah.
the YouTubers, like literally everyone in the world, and they just come out like in the craziest, dripped out, like Banks. This was funny. During the title fight, the FaZe Clan walked in, and literally everyone started cheering and going nuts and screaming, and like nothing was really happening in action in the fight. And everyone was like, the whole crowd was just watching FaZe walk in. Like it was a bigger spectacle than this title fight, which was so funny. In Staples Center, and like, you know, like in Staples when everyone kind of turns and like you're in a big stadium, everyone's like, what is that? What is that? All the heads start turning at once.
yeah.
All heads were on them.
That's
It was-
so crazy.
It was just crazy to see how much influence these
and I
YouTubers
saw,
have.
I bet you, which was ended up being very cheap marketing. Logan was wearing Fashion
Yeah.
Nova
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich probably paid nothing for that.
I think I saw Rich there. And
yeah, he was there.
he-
I
he was
couldn't
with the
believe
Warwick
how many
crew.
people were.
With the Warwick crew.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely with the Warwick.
Eli
good.
Webby.
Yeah, he was
literally
definitely
just
Eli.
Warwick. And then the after party was at Hyde. They all went and partied out.
I saw
there.
he was so wasted.
Yeah,
Who
which
was?
is like
Logan.
Logan. He was
Oh,
there
really?
partying, and like he got so fucked up. Like they
Oh,
were
you
throwing-
went there too.
I didn't go to Hyde. I'm too
Okay,
old for
good.
that. Retired.
You're too old for Hyde.
You're 26.
Leo's at Hyde.
We've been going to Hyde since like 16 in high school. That was 10 years ago. But yeah, it was wild. The energy was crazy. And I was like, it's just amazing to see someone like Logan who like he was a Viner, to be able to sell out arenas in boxing, to be able to top the charts in music. It's like just shows the power of influence and the power of, he has that thing that Barstool has, that like El Pres, it's like, whether you hate him or love him, you're gonna watch him. You're
Yeah.
gonna listen to what he says, and he's so good at understanding the internet. It's the same. Trump, El Prez, all those people, Kanye, understand the internet in its way. It's like you could hate him, and he was even joking about it. Like all the people talking shit about me, like you bought a ticket, you came here.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could hate him, but you're gonna watch him, and he's gonna win.
Yeah.
But I think this is a bigger discussion because I think, Drama, you put it in our group chat that sports are going to be much more differentiated than we experience now. So I want you to actually explain that because I actually disagree kind of.
What did I say?
You said something like sports are
You said
done.
something smart.
No, what did I?
Yeah, you said something smart. You were
Was it
like,
you or D who said that? Like this is all major sports are ruined now because YouTubers can get bigger
I
crowds.
said sports are dead, and
Or
I
maybe-
think drama
maybe it was
was.
the drama.
I think D
was-
said it.
Yeah.
Was saying the same, echoing the same thing, and I just think the problem with traditional sports, like for example, you take the LSU Alabama game. It was probably the biggest game of college football this year.
it's the highest rated college football game since 2011.
Okay, so perfect. You should have spent $500,000 and had influencers there, and made it something that makes like
They
for-
had Trump. They're the biggest influencer of all.
I know,
That's
but
true.
like, unfortunately, kids don't care about politics. They're not watching
Yeah.
it, so they don't care. But I saw on my feed how many girls dressed up, guys excited
Yeah.
about it. People got dressed up like it was fight night in Vegas.
They got the outfits were crazy. Like,
That's
I
what's
also
crazy.
think we're a little bubble-ish.
we are
right?
definitely published.
Like
but
we think
what's-
Logan Paul KSI is amazing, but honestly, the whole country cared about Trump, Alabama, LSU.
well,
We'll have to see about impressions because I would
yeah.
argue when I went at
But
Saturday
I think
night-
impressions on social media skew towards
younger,
younger.
which skewed towards more Logan than
which
Trump.
is what the future is.
Yeah.
The future is not LSU Alabama. It's just not. It's not going to be college
unless you
football.
live in that area or
Yeah.
SAC.
I'm
Like,
sure those kids who played the game were like, "Oh, I gotta go watch this fucking fight."
I bet those kids were watching the fight too.
I guarantee
and,
you, yeah.
And D, you made a funny comment in the group. You said if Logan was the quarterback of the Chargers, more people would watch it.
Yes,
I mean, the Chargers can't fill up the stadium.
I know, but
and
I'm
But
just
Logan
saying-
could fill up a stadium.
I would
It is-
argue if we said come to group chat at, pick a bigger venue than Peppermint, 1,000-seater. Maybe we'd fill 3/4 of it.
No, we'd
I
fill
said-
all of it.
Okay,
We're a group chat.
Okay, but I said I would say if you can watch Taylor and Pete fight, I think we'd sell it out. But
Yeah.
the point, the fight element of it also adds something to everything. Fighting,
Fair.
it's still
Yeah.
what I got. I also took away.
So
with it.
our next live event is Taylor fighting Pete.
We do
Oh
our
my gosh, that'd
podcast
be
and then
so
Taylor
sick.
Pete fight after.
That'd be so fun.
Let's box. That'd be
Damn
fun.
it.
Who's the
This
bigger
is-
pussy?
This is let's find out. This is my only point though, is I think we do this a lot on here, like where it's like this moment was bigger than this moment, right? But still, you can't really just compare Alabama game versus one big fight. It's college football as a whole. And as a whole, it's so massive and it's repeatable and there's storylines of who makes it where and rivalries and all this stuff.
Yeah.
These moments are really big, but part of the reason why they're so big is because they can only happen once in a blue moon. Like
But
wins,
this company, whatever the fuck it's
The
called,
Zone, they're
DAZN.
huge.
Yeah,
They've
they're-
raised so much money. The head of ESPN.
I know, but I'm
left
not
to run
watching
DAZN.
whatever they're selling. So that's
course
the next
who
best thing
DAZN
is like a Canelo fight, which you're never watching.
Yeah.
But my
But-
point is like these, I believe that influencers have so much influence and so many eyeballs on them and can make people do things, but there's still no like structure to it, right?
But DAZN or DAZN, they didn't
No,
change
it's
their
the
name.
Zone.
It's terrible.
I think it's clear.
Whatever it is they need to change their names. The first step. Second, if they're the company that helps professionalize it, like we were talking about, Ace Family sold out Staples Center.
Yeah.
Ace Family,
And the Clippers and Kawhi doesn't
90%
sell
of
them out.
people listening to this podcast have never heard of the Ace Family, which is a YouTube channel that can sell out Staples Center.
Yeah.
So if those guys, they just don't want to leave LA, so they're not going anywhere else. But if someone professionalized it and made an Ace Family tour, and then Logan did a 10-city fight tour,
Yeah.
I'm going to beat up
He
your
might be
most...
dead.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of, I listened to a little bit of the press conference and he kind of said like, I did boxing. Like,
Well, that's
I don't,
right.
Yeah.
I don't think
His
I'll do it again.
excuse was he was like, because there was a point where KSI was like a little wobbly and Logan could have just pounced on him and attacked and like really ended it potentially. And he was like, in that moment I realized I'm not a fighter. I didn't want to hurt someone.
Yeah.
And that was like his way out
Maybe
of
I'm
it.
not the savage I thought I was.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was still entertainment. That's all it is.
So
at the end of
that's the
day.
thing. And that's where I think where Logan and these guys win over the Alabama guys or whoever, because Logan is so entertaining at all times. And even like Alabama, LSU, if we were walking down the street with even, what's the guy's, Tua, their quarterback?
Yeah.
The Alabama quarterback, no one in LA would notice
No,
him.
nobody.
When I go around with Logan, like I remember we were driving my car one time and we had kids sprinting across the street, like on Wilshire, gonna get hit by traffic. Like you see a glimpse of these kids sprint like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's just a different level of influence and power. Like I don't even think LeBron James can get people to run and chase him like Logan does.
I agree. I just think that like the problem with all that stuff, and I'm not disagreeing, I'm just saying that like those are all like singular people and they're all trying to figure out their thing. And so like the Ace family will sell out Staples. That's a weird phenomenon. Logan will do it with some weird cockamamie boxing match. That's a weird phenomenon. But like there's nothing you can repeat. Whereas college football is like
It's institutionalized.
the biggest, most
Yeah.
influential. When you talk about college football, you go to those FSU games or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like insane.
and it doesn't even matter who the players are.
But the
because
thing that
it's about
is-
the institution.
Yeah, and the jerseys and the colors and the cult-like worship of that is very, very. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah,
really
I-
hard
I-
to disrupt that.
I get that, but that being said, the thing that they can do is they can go from Logan from having a top song and being a music guy
Yeah.
to doing the influencer Olympics or whatever he did and selling out that arena to being a boxer and selling that arena. So yes, it's not one thing over and over again because he gets bored. He's like, okay, cool, I did boxing, I dominated. I'm the biggest
That's-
boxer in the world.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm the biggest musician in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
And I think the power is with the influence, like of getting. If Logan wanted to play college football, like. I don't even know if he ain't go to college. So if he wants to go and be eligible and play college football, like he could sell it at a random D1 stadium.
Yes, everyone would go. I would go to that game.
I would
Yeah,
go watch
for
him
sure,
play.
for sure. I'm not doubting the influence. I'm just saying that it's
You
not
go watch
fair.
him play in a college football game.
Yeah.
100% I would.
Because he talks
It would-
so much shit
it would
leading
be
up and
chaos.
Yeah,
hype
but
it up.
like it's a college football game. There's like 12 guys on each side.
I know,
Like, what are you
but-
gonna do?
You would
But
see
it's
him get
funny.
rocked. You'd want to see him get rocked because he'd talk so much shit.
Yeah.
I'm coming in here. I'm going to dominate.
He would have his phone out on the field.
Yeah.
You just want to see what he's going to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I agree with like NCAA obviously is bigger than what these YouTubers could be, and there is a potential. But the thing is, all these YouTubers have such eclectic interest, where the NCAA gets all
Look,
these people.
I
I
just
hate
wish
the
someone-
institution more than anyone. I hate the fact that the NCAA controls the way we consume, elite athletes and how they play in college. I hate it, but I still consume it.
Yeah. And
So-
my point is, there's a structure to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a season. There's you
tradition.
can bank on what you're gonna make. As a business, it's much more bankable. Where
Yeah.
if someone came in, sure, and made this is what I would say, not Logan Paul. It's only one guy. He can only do so much. If Dazen made a
DAZN.
boxing league of influencers that traveled, whereas like you can't wait to see the next Dazen event because oh my gosh, the main event is Amanda
Yeah, I'd watch
Cerny
Amanda
versus
Cerny versus
Tana
King Bad.
Mojo.
But the thing with Dazen, and it's Dazen,
Their name
right?
is so screwed. They gotta change it.
yeah.
But they get the influencer to go. You know how unpredictable these guys are.
Yeah.
Like you get them to go to a fight, they won't show up the day of or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it just. It would be impossible for Dazen or DAZN to do this.
For sure.
Because influencers are the flakiest people ever.
Yeah, I would just argue that would be the real opportunity. The real
Yeah,
opportunity is
definitely.
like, wow, there's a
Yeah.
phenomenon happening here with influencers, but there's no structure to it
Well, that's
whatsoever.
something like MagCon tried doing years ago
Yeah.
when they got all the influencers, like the Cameron Dallas, Taylor Kniff, all those little influencers,
Yeah.
and they did play like tours around the world.
Yeah.
It's just hard to package them up because like all those influencers think they're in the world. They don't
Yeah.
want to go on tour. They don't want to listen.
But that's a good thing. These college football stars show up where they're supposed to be.
yeah, they
They
shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Wow, fucking
Wow.
D.
You guys are way too racist.
Fucking Taylor. Taylor's MAGA and he's a fucking dribbler and he's
Okay, we got to
worst.
move on. Can we talk real quick, Dee? On Friday, you gave yourself Loser of the Week because you caved to your staff, and we said that you should really go through with this idea of calling your holiday sale Brown Friday instead of Black Friday. We're wondering, is there any update?
The Browns have spoken.
What'd they say?
They love it.
In social media or where?
Social media. The Browns are standing with me.
Are Browns specifically Indians or how are you?
Indians and Mexicans.
Okay.
And the people in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And also the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham has spoken. Okay, so are you? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of brown people gave me the fist and said, "I got to do it. I
They
have
do
to."
it brown fist. They do the.
They
the
did a
shade?
brown
Yeah, they do like a
fist,
lightish brown.
Yeah.
fist.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do it?
I think I have to.
I think you have to.
It's insulting that
Did anyone give negative?
Eric Deluxe.
What do you say?
Okay, what did he say?
Eric Deluxe said the reason why I don't like it is if you're doing Brown Friday because you're brown, then you're insinuating you're doing Black Friday because it's about race. It's about black people.
That's interesting.
That is interesting, right?
Yeah, but not good enough.
Not good enough.
No,
Not
it's a
good
good,
enough.
really good
Shut
point.
up and DJ.
Oh, no.
Taylor's
You didn't even go to high school.
nemesis.
Fuck you,
I
Eric.
still got my beef with Eric. Get out of here, Eric.
Taylor's nemesis.
Eric's going to try to fight you
Dude.
one day.
First I
Taylor's
gotta fight Pete, then I
relishing the
got
mic
you.
being on him for the next 10 minutes.
Maybe the next fight is Taylor Eric Deluxe.
Oh, that'd be good.
Taylor
That's
Pete,
a little bit more
Terry-
fair.
Well,
Taylor-
honestly,
Eric-
no one cares about Pete. Like, no offense, Pete. Like,
That's just more fair. Pete will just whoop anyone's ass.
all right, to be honest, I don't want to fight Pete. I want to fight Eric.
yeah.
Please
more
not
fair.
Pete.
Okay, so you're going through with it. We're here on record.
I'm going to have the conversation on Monday morning.
But who are you having the conversation with?
His staff that doesn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know who it is now, or is it a lot of
People are?
people?
Yeah, it's about 3 people out of 6, I think.
Sounds like a
But you know who they
minority,
are.
I know who they are now. Pete ratted them out.
Okay.
Are they mostly white?
None of them are white.
That's better. I was worried about the white people being like, you can't do that.
They're,
Like, it's
they're
not your-
racially ambiguous. I don't know what they are.
Well, you better be careful. Next year's racially ambiguous Friday. Okay. Well, I think you should go through with it. I think, if nothing else, number one, it could never be that messed up. And maybe you'll get some like cool, weird press out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Is this CEO up to something? Has he figured out that Black Friday is canceled?
I think, oh, yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, that should be your angle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's right
Yeah.
to do this. So if this is what
You
we're
should
going to
do the
I'm-
woke
White
movement
Monday.
on Black Friday.
Yeah, I did this to highlight.
Yeah. How racially insensitive
Yeah.
Black Friday is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they come after you, go with that angle.
I've been depressed for the last 38 years because of Black Friday.
Yeah.
I felt there wasn't a holiday that my family can go and find cheap coffee machines at.
Yeah, that sounds like a Washington Post story. Okay. Well, I can't wait for updates. And
My parents never left the house after Thanksgiving.
I hope you stick to it. I really hope so, man. This could be really good. Okay. You ready to get into some news?
Yes.
Let's talk about Pete hitting that clock. Okay.
Thanks, Tim Gamache.
Let's talk about Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is an entrepreneurial guy. He did whiskey. He's done some big clothing deals, Jordan brand, all these different things. He is now hopping right into the cannabis space.
Yeah.
You know any details?
My only detail is I don't think it's going to work.
Why's that?
I don't think Drake can sell product. I think Drake is.
That's actually a really bold claim.
I agree with him, though.
I think
That's
Drake
fine.
is
I'm
probably
just
the
saying it's a
best
bold claim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
musician
I think.
since Kanye. To me, like music wise, I'd rather listen to Drake more than any other artist in the last 10 years.
Yeah. I agree.
I think he's the best.
Drake's my favorite artist of all time.
I don't think he connects with
I agree with
people in terms of product.
I agree.
Like the way Kanye connects with people. He doesn't have a point of view when it comes to product.
He should just sell like something. Like he should sell like sleeping bags with
Like for-
pillowcases with emotional quotes on
Yes.
them.
For example,
Candles.
like if Drake did rosé
Yeah.
instead of whiskey, it would have worked.
Yeah,
Whiskey
you gotta
is
talk
not
to your
Drake.
People. Yeah, you gotta do like a breakup kit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I think like if he did We Are Not Really Strangers
Yeah,
collab,
Yeah.
that would work.
huge.
That is the perfect person for that.
100%.
I don't think he should be like when I think cannabis and CBD. I think he could do something in the CBD space.
Yeah.
I feel that's like light touch Drake. I think it could work. I think because it's Drake, people will try anything. But I just don't. He doesn't have. He's missing something that doesn't sell product. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's also just who he talks to. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I don't necessarily think a bunch of young people want to wake up and look like Drake in the morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
drink
think-
what Drake drinks
Yeah.
and whatever. They want to listen to it because they're heartbroken about their
Yeah.
relationships or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like I would say that's his like most well-known niche.
If he did a
Yeah.
heartbreak potion where you drink
Yeah.
like
no, I think Drake is just an artist that, everyone loves his work, loves everything he puts out, but do a lot of people want to be him?
Well, then you can't do businesses like this.
Yeah, I know. That's the tough part.
It's
Like,
a-
I love Drake more than anyone. And
Yeah, we've seen the fanboy pic.
yeah, we've seen the pic. It's in the newsletter. I was original 2008. Shout out. I was early on
You're
Drake.
shouting
But you've
yourself
never
out.
once
Yeah.
like bought a OVO
I'm shouting
item,
myself.
merch piece. right?
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That tells you everything.
Only Tyrell.
Yeah.
Tyrell's head to toe. He's probably on a waiting list
Well, if
somewhere
you're
for a weed
Canadian,
pen.
if you're Canadian,
He's
I
your
get
only
it.
hope.
Yeah.
Like,
The Canadians do buy his shit.
It's him and Kawhi Leonard left. He got you a title and he left.
Yeah.
I think Canadians love him. They'll buy anything. I just think selling product. I think people like Kanye or Jay-Z have proven they have a different connection with customers.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if Jay-Z has it anymore.
No, but he had it.
He had it 10 years
I
ago.
know, but I remember buying his Reebok shoes. I remember everyone wearing Rockaware. It's different. I'm saying at the peak of his career, he had it. Drake is the biggest artist in hip hop right now, and unfortunately, he just can't sell product.
Yeah,
But
because
didn't he sell $50 million of OVO stuff? Small for him, but isn't that selling product?
So
Where did
the-
you hear that number?
Google.
Exactly.
So he did say on the line, Ollie
Shots
North.
fired.
Ollie North is pulling 10 million a season.
Yep.
But for the biggest artist in the world,
That's nothing. Because
Doesn't
Kanye's
surprise me.
probably selling like 500 million at retail.
I mean, I drive
that's
by that
also Adidas.
store
a
every
billion.
day.
No, but that's not Adidas. There's no Adidas on the box. There's no Adidas on everything.
no, but
It's-
that's distribution via Adidas.
No, I know, but my point is if there was that much demand for Drake stuff,
But compare
They're
that to
printing-
Rockaware, right? Or Sean John, or like
They didn't do anything.
they did more than
What? Are you
40
joking?
Couple hundred million.
Yes,
Couple
which is
hundred million.
50 million.
Yeah, but zero distribution via.
That's his. If
That's
he
his
had-
fault. That's you're right. You're right. You're about to say.
It's
You're
his
like
fault.
that's his fault.
And by
But
the
I
way,
It has
bet-
nothing to do about what the demand is.
but no, but there is no demand.
I don't think
That's
there's
my
demand.
point.
You don't think people would knock down their doors and offer to make the whole line for them if they just let them carry it in their stores?
I mean, I think we've all are close enough to people that are close to their camp that know that they operate OVO
Yeah, but-
clothing very differently
you
than
could-
what Rockaware would have been.
I know, but if you
I
put
know,
it
but
online,
they make
if
it
more
so
people
easy.
wanted it,
And
These days, it's so easy.
yeah, my point is, we know they're not operating it properly.
I agree, but I drive by that store every day on my way home, and it is cricket town.
yeah.
No one's in there just like
Yeah, they're
grabbing
probably
an
have no
OVO
new
hoodie.
product.
What?
They're probably not making new product. They're probably not doing new drops.
but I'm just
I mean, it's
saying.
just poorly run.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, but I also don't think there is the demand.
But think about it. Like when he dropped a Jordan, not a big deal. Travis Scott, when he drops a Jordan, it's the biggest streetwear item in
Yeah,
the world.
because Travis Scott has a different connection with his fans. It's about product.
And I would say Drake probably. I mean, Drake has probably sold substantially more records
oh yeah,
than
no.
Travis. Like he's a bigger artist,
way bigger.
and I would say Travis probably outsells him
It could
double.
be just the way they execute.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Fine.
Yeah.
I love Drake.
Your lover can't sell.
Yeah.
Your lover can't sell.
You know,
jeans.
no one's buying that weed, and no one bought that stupid whiskey.
Yeah, no.
Except
one bought
for
that
the,
skin.
I've never had the whiskey.
exactly. I'll tell you this. I didn't
I
see
love
any
Drake.
album.
exactly, man. If you came in here with a
You know, two things I
flask
love.
of
I love whiskey and I love Drake.
Yeah.
Never had-
And,
And
you don't
by the
even-
way, at Complex Con, I saw no owls. No owls.
no one rocks the owls. Okay, well, he'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm sure in Canada that stuff will sell really well.
Yes.
Moving on, it looks like we have. Gosh, okay. So gender reveal parties, right? It's the new. It's getting way out of hand
Yeah.
with social media. Everyone wants the credit. Everyone wants the viral gender reveal moment. I heard that somebody died recently.
Yeah.
Where they made like almost like a homemade pipe bomb. It was supposed to blow up and have smoke of one color.
I think one person did.
And a piece of shrapnel hit a woman and killed her, I
Yes.
believe. Somebody else like fell out of a moving car.
Yes.
Most recently, a plane has crashed after dumping 350 gallons of pink water as their gender reveal.
So we had a gender reveal with like 5 people at our house years ago.
5 people in a cake, the way it should be.
A cake.
Yeah.
And
we had a few more people at ours.
yours was a little bigger. Yours could have could have gone south. I don't know.
Yeah, yours
With
was a
that.
little
There was
sketchy.
a little. It was an
What'd you do?
explosion.
You got an
Shut up.
explosion.
Right, it's just a balloon.
I remember
We popped the balloon.
Dominic was
Yeah.
crying. He was like, "Ah!"
Yeah, it got a little hairy.
10 people in a balloon popping.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lock me up.
I'm not sure.
No owls, let me tell you.
Well, there was no owls.
It's just stupid. There's so many things that have happened in like the last 10 years that are part of like adulthood that I don't know who manufacture these things, like gender reveal parties, push present, which is what you give your wife when she gets about to have a baby,
I don't
baby
like that
moon.
Name. That name just feels creepy.
Datchler.
Yeah.
Love the Datchler.
Yeah, it's just like
Datchler's like when you have a kid coming?
yeah, and the dad gets to go. Baby moon is when you take your wife on like a fancy. I mean, you know how rich you have to be to get married and have kids. There's so many made up things that have happened.
We're not even talking about the cost of school.
You're not costing
We're
basically like
blowing all your money on
that.
a damn push present.
everyone's like, "What'd you get your wife for a push present?" The baby, sperm.
Oh my God. You probably did say that. Yeah.
But it's just crazy. Everything is crazy. It's probably because of social media.
It's 100% because of social
Yeah,
media.
because like you want this like big moment that you get to share with all your friends.
Before you were producing a show for your 20 closest friends.
Yeah.
Now you're producing it for the world, hoping you end up on some viral trending thing.
Yeah.
And so now you have people crashing freaking planes so that you can dump a bunch of water
I
out.
mean, how much did that cost? 10 G's to like say yeah.
But no
I
one
mean,
died. The guy ejected. What happened?
No, the plane crashed safely and like they lived.
And they just dumped a bunch of pink water. Like, oh, here comes the plane. And they imagine, like, here it is. Oh my God, it's a girl. Oh shit. We
dead.
just killed a guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Imagine that poor girl when she grows up.
Yeah, you have to see
Oh,
that
you're
video.
blaming the girl.
I'm not blaming her. She has to deal with that.
It's just like my gender killed
My
somebody.
gender reveal killed
Talk
two
about
people.
gender troubles. So man,
Self-partnered.
jeez, yeah, we thought Emma Watson or whoever
Self-partnered
it
as
was.
shit.
Okay, all right. Moving on. This is actually bad news for all those gender people.
Yeah.
It looks like this week Instagram is going to start officially hiding the likes of U.S. users. They've been doing it around the world. They've been testing it. It must be working well because they're going to roll it out in the U.S. I would say the U.S. is probably the most self-centered, like-craving market
Where
of
all their
theirs.
money is made here.
Yeah, but
I mean,
also
like,
we
when
care
they
the most
test
about the
in-
likes.
Yeah, when they test in Thailand and Canada, no one gives a shit. No offense to Thai and Canadians.
We're just much more, whatever the word is, self-centered.
No, we spend way more money, and so it affects ad performance, it affects other things.
But we're the ones who think we're all celebrities. I don't think that happens as much in other countries. I think it's part of the American culture.
I don't know.
I don't know if I,
I
agree
think-
with that.
You don't think that this whole like social media, everyone thinks they're a celebrity, is the biggest in the U.S.?
It is the biggest, but it exists.
That's all I'm
everywhere.
saying. I'm not saying it doesn't
Sure.
exist. I'm just saying you're now bringing it to the market that cares the most about their likes.
I think they're playing chess. I think they figured it
Can I
out.
ask you this question? Because I have my take, but what do you think the real reason?
I think the real reason, before you say anything, sorry, didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
the fake reason, just to clarify for the listener, is to address, they want people to post better quality content that they actually care about and not care so much about what people think.
No, I think it's literally young people have gravitated towards Snapchat and TikTok and are not sharing as much on Instagram because of the social pressure of likes and
As a pussy, I second that.
as
Yeah.
the likes and backlash you get if you post content on Instagram that's not as, not getting as much likes as, something that you crafted.
Because people on
perfectly.
TikTok
Hold on, I'm not
recklessly
finished.
post.
No, but my point is they are literally targeting younger people because they've already figured out us. We're not leaving. We're old. We're washed. We're all.
But we're also
fucking-
not posting
agree
comparatively.
But 18 to 25-year-olds are like posting on Instagram stupid because if I get only 120 likes, 200 likes, whatever the number is, they're like, oh, this sucks. Let me
They
just go on
delete it.
TikTok and Snapchat.
But one thing that you're not taking into consideration, I'm just wondering, is I think that a lot of it is because they self-imposed the lack of likes. So if you talk to any influencer, any brand, anyone, the biggest complaint is they're not reaching hardly any of their audience. And so their own likes are throttled.
So my point is only that 25 and up, they've already got us. We're done.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make sure that they can keep the young people. And they're keeping the young people because they're like, young people are pussies like Taylor that worry about their likes, and they won't post because they don't get their
Okay,
X number of
so
likes.
I'm gonna before anyone else says anything, we have 4
Pussies?
pussies here. 4 white pussies here.
Everyone bringing it around this
We
Okay.
don't know Tim yet. Tim might be a very.
I was counted as not a pussy.
What?
I wasn't a pussy.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
pussies, bring it in.
Just be brutally honest, and I'll be brutally honest too. Do you guys think about what you post because of engagement? And be fucking honest.
I never post in the feed anymore. Never, because it's just
Because
like,
why?
The feed. It's art. Like it's pressure. I don't want to post there and have a shitty picture or have it not do well.
Okay.
I've seen like some girls post so much. Talk about movement and Emmy and how much those girls.
Okay,
post
Robbie.
at the feed,
Robbie
like-
from.
Yeah, this is a good take. We
I
have
plead the
Robbie,
fifth
who's
on all
the
that.
in charge of social media for Movement, who spends a lot of money and puts a lot of time and thought into social media. Tell us what you think.
Robbie, how big of a pussy are you?
Posting a post feed.
I won't say it's as bad as some people I know who will literally go out of their way driving hours to go to a certain destination to take a photo.
Name them.
Pretend like they were there all day, like they're having the best life ever. Drive all the way back home and just sit in bed and watch Netflix all day. I won't say it's that bad, but it's pretty damn close.
And so, what about
Wait,
you
what's pretty
personally?
close?
Just like the amount of thought, effort, energy that just goes into like putting on this fake persona of like, oh my God, look at my perfect life.
For everyone.
Because again, social media, Instagram in particular, it's the highlight reel of everyone's life. 99% of the time, everyone's boring as shit just like the next person, right? So the girls, and I think girls battle their own battles with body dysmorphia and all those things. So like they Facetune, they try to make themselves perfect, and they do post things with the hopes of like, this is going to perform better than if I just shared my authentic self, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all they care about is how many likes is this going to get, how many DMs are guys going to hit me up now that I shared my butt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from
like
a
that,
brand,
Robbie,
it's
right? When
very
you share
different,
your
right?
butt?
From a brand, there's like a whole content calendar, and we have a whole strategy behind like the do's and don'ts and why we do everything.
But let me ask you this: haven't you guys, as a brand, noticed the extreme throttling of your own content organically?
I get more likes on my dog's Instagram than on Movements. They get like 2,000 likes a picture.
All right,
It's
relax.
all throttled.
right?
Relax,
Isn't that true?
relax.
Though?
On a million
Haven't you noticed
followers.
that?
It's definitely a different landscape than it was even just 2 years ago.
So
Absolutely.
corporate, Robbie, huh? Different
I-
landscape. Shut the fuck up.
Landscape.
I'm tiptoeing. I'm choosing my words carefully and tiptoeing around the topic because I don't want to say something
He is the
outlandish.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, absolutely. I'd be bullshitting you guys if I said it sucks. Like the social media presence that a big brand such as
So-
Movement was, like, yeah, like we definitely have seen an
Okay.
adverse
So don't you think
effect
this?
from
You're
it.
a company.
I just want to ask one question on
Yeah,
Robbie.
yeah.
You are going to go to work Monday, and you are going to find out that likes are going to be hidden. What is your company's strategy? What would you say to your company? Look, we don't have any likes more. Let's post our dicks off now.
Honestly, yeah, because
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because engagement rate and all that stuff, we take it extremely seriously, and like we spend tens of thousands of dollars commissioning content with the hopes of like, is this going to perform well? Obviously, it lives on other platforms, email, site, blogs, all that stuff. But it's like social media is our forward-focusing driver for like, this is our brand DNA. We want people to like us and engage with us. And if that content doesn't share likes and people don't really know how well or not well it's doing, we can kind of just post whatever we think is best without the intention of like, you know,
Yeah.
like, does that make sense? Like, obviously, we're still
Yeah,
going to
no,
do what we
that's
think
no.
is
I'm curious to see if
makes
you're going to
perfect
execute
sense.
That's
that.
the strategy. I
here's
think that's what they're trying to do.
I think the point is basically that Facebook is the most well-run company we've ever seen.
Yep.
In my opinion,
Well run? I don't think it's well run.
they're just
Good product.
They
I
execute.
think they just have the greatest product.
They execute on every product.
Well run, I disagree.
Fine, you can mince words on well-run, but sure,
I'm mincing.
It is literally. It's literally one of the best companies we've ever seen. Period. Fact.
I don't think
Hard
that'll check
stop.
out in 5 years, but keep going.
Yeah.
And I think they're like, we need to figure out how to keep young people on.
Yeah. But
Young people don't like, this feedback on like what likes are and blah, blah, blah. They're
Yeah.
too emotional. They're not secure about themselves. So let's keep them on the platform and let's just let them post.
Here's the one part that I just want to see what you guys honestly think. I think the one part that we're not talking about is the reason why organic engagement went down so bad is because they did it for the sake of their ad product.
Sure.
So this is a way for them to try to bail themselves out of everyone using it organically less, because for them to sell ads, they had to restrict who your content gets served to. So I think it's even a little bit more like messed up than what they're selling it as, because it's actually a cover, because people reacted in a way to the way you changed your product to sell ads. So instead of changing, hey, let's start serving people's content to more people, people aren't liking the platform, they're instead going to get rid of the thing that you see to make you stop using it, so that they just trick everyone into using it more.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
I think they're really smart in doing that.
But I think long term, you run into a wall. You run that all the way out.
So what do you think happens to the influencer then?
With this change?
With this change, does it have any impact?
I don't see any immediate impact. I think people post more. I think that
Which
it
is
allows
good for business.
Good for business, but I think it also allows Instagram to throttle even more.
And
then
it also,
I think eventually Instagram just becomes like the way that we're talking about it, this burden that we're all talking about when we talk about Instagram is insane. And I think when people start to come out of the Instagram fog, you're going to find people just not using it. Look at Facebook. Everyone used to use Facebook for everything.
Yeah.
Now the thought of opening Facebook on your phone and posting a photo is insane.
I would. So you know when on Instagram,
but
you
I
can
guess the
add,
point is the alternative is not there yet
What?
for Instagram.
but it can happen for young people.
It happens so quick.
It could happen.
Like TikTok
just
could
be
open
TikTok.
a picture feed
It's
tomorrow
not
and it
TikTok.
could
No, but
work.
here's the
sorry,
thing.
I just sorry to break it to you. I know you guys are TikTok.
I don't think you
fanboys.
know that, though.
You Chinese motherfuckers. Like it's not TikTok. I'm
Okay.
sorry, it's not.
It doesn't
It
matter.
is for a moment
It
because
could
they
be.
spent
But it
so much
doesn't matter.
goddamn money. It's not TikTok.
But
I'm
it could
sorry
be
to
something
break
else.
it to you.
It could be
be.
something
It
else.
could be. We don't know
But
that.
The point is,
We don't know
Facebook was
that.
the biggest, greatest thing ever, and I go out of the way when I have all my accounts linked, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. When I post, I go out of the way to unclick Facebook because I don't want anything on my Facebook. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't give a shit if anyone on my
Yeah, but there's
Facebook.
not even a close alternative.
I know, but no one's using Facebook. It's a big problem.
And this is what else I'll say. The way that this stuff works is there's never going to be a close alternative when someone is dominating so hard. But as soon as there's a weakness in there, it just leaves it ripe for someone to come up out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, I think social media platforms work like trends, the same way all trends do. And I think by summer at Coachella, there could be a whole new thing that we're all doing.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible.
I actually don't think it's even possible.
I'll
think
tell
it
you
is.
why.
I actually don't think it's even closely possible.
You're not looking
I
at
think it is.
history.
I think-
We think Mark Zuckerberg is smart and ruthless. J. Paul Getty was way smart. He was going to throw his kid down
No,
the
but
river.
my point is like
you
the problem with it's when you talk about monopolies and like the reason why things can get broken up for competition, Facebook is a monopoly. The amount of capital they have, the amount of engineering power they have, the amount of social network, the social graph they have on the entire world is
I know, but
it's
this is
virtually impossible to defeat them.
But
I'll
think
tell
about
you
the
why
fact
the
that-
biggest difference is
because
there's an
think about it,
emotional.
Snapchat tried.
No.
And they tried, and they were hot for 3 months.
I know, but that was poorly executed. Here's the
It's
problem:
really hard.
I'll tell you.
It is hard. I'll
It
give
is.
you
I'm
that.
not gonna say. I'm not saying it's easy, but here's the thing. This is unlike Microsoft and Google and Amazon. What Facebook does is an emotional thing. They have an emotional connection with their
But
customers.
that's because of the social network graph that they control because they have 2.2 billion users.
I know. But
Also, think about if they just had decided, like Snapchat did, not to sell Instagram to Facebook. I think the conversation of Facebook would have been in a totally
Agree.
different game.
But they did it.
100%. But all I'm
So
saying
it's
is
like
it just
a moot
lets you
point.
know,
It
it
like,
could happen. Another
It's a moot
Instagram can
point.
happen.
I
Another-
don't know. It's so freaking hard. Like
No.
who? Like
I don't think
I'm
it's that
sorry. Like
hard.
the best entrepreneurs are not trying to start the next social media company.
I
They're
disagree.
Not. They're not. It's just a fact.
Fortnite is a social media company.
No, Fortnite's a video game that morphs into a social media company.
I know,
and
but the
Sure,
fact that you
that's
have a company like ByteDance pouring so much money,
and losing.
they're losing right now. It's so weird to me that you discount what is honestly happening
history
with
has
TikTok.
proven that these things get disrupted.
I agree. History has proven that, but I don't think there's anyone even close. And you guys are like totally like not understanding what's going on with TikTok. They're already losing in China.
no, but
I
it
don't
doesn't
think-
matter.
They're losing
I don't
in
think,
China.
I don't think you understand. I think if you walk around high schools in this country,
Yes. I agree.
everyone is TikToking. They have favorite TikTokers. And the power of that. It's a trend. It's not Google. It's not a new search engine. It's a trend. It's something that is cool to be on, to gain followers on.
Which is
the
what
power of
Instagram
that
is.
is beyond engineering, right? Great engineering helps, all that stuff. But that's why I'm using the example, because if Zuckerberg hadn't had the foresight to offer such a big check out of nowhere to Instagram, and they didn't decide to sell, that product, Facebook would be putting out their freaking video chat device and all these misses that they've had, and their platform is
if he didn't
irrelevant.
buy Instagram, Facebook's a different company.
But that's not a game of like engineering or metrics on people.
But there's not even a close U.S. competitor.
I know, but I'm telling you, they
can
come out of
happen so
nowhere.
fast.
They come out of nowhere.
It's the internet. Things.
I mean,
just happen.
Snapchat came and they got muted pretty quickly.
I know, but
Yeah,
you
I
just-
would say that's a good, interesting. They were able to take their only thing that anyone cared about, tie it into their other platform. It worked. Evan Spiegel had no backup.
And yeah, my point is, I don't think young, brilliant entrepreneurs are trying to create the next social network.
I think they are.
I think you're wrong. Why wouldn't you? Everyone wants to be Mark Zuckerberg in the world. He's one of the most looked
Yeah, I
up
just
to.
don't think that's where you would go if you're a young, brilliant entrepreneur.
I think they are. They'd say, watch them in the
Hey,
stand.
well, group
and they're
chat's
like,
been along for a while. We can debate this for the
Speaking
next
as a
10
young,
years.
brilliant entrepreneur, it would be interesting.
yeah, it would be.
Taylor, what do you think?
About social media?
Just about the debate.
I don't know. I mean, Instagram is extremely hot right now. But the thing is, like, what's gonna happen to Instagram is what happened to Facebook pages, where I had Facebook pages with millions of likes and followers, and organic reach just slowly dies and dies and dies and dies, and it's gonna be a pay-to-play platform. As soon as these influencers have to pay to play and not gonna reach their audience, they're gonna go where their audience is. Influencers are just like, for lack of a better word, whores for attention and whores for the audience. Wherever the audience is, they'll go. So, like, to go from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. Now they're on TikTok and LinkedIn because they want where the attention is. Wherever they can get the reach, that's where they're going to go. The reach is dying on Instagram. It's a content saturated platform. Like, people, as your engagement gets lower and lower, even now, like, I have an Instagram page with 220,000 followers in Taylor Parker. I don't post on it because I get way more engagement on LinkedIn, and I'm way more active on LinkedIn. And as soon as the content creators leave the platform, that's where the people that are watching are going to go to.
Yeah, and I think this is an attempt to re-engage people, and maybe it works where people the mood changes where, like, as soon as I know that everyone is hidden, I'll do a test. I'll post 20 times in 1 week.
Sure.
Literally, I'll just post. I looked at my post from like 6, 7, 8 years ago whenever Instagram launched. I would just post everything.
Yeah.
Food, this, that. I posted margaritas like every day.
But the other big problem too that we're not talking about is you still see how many likes something got. So if
Yeah.
one day you open whatever your average like is now,
Yeah.
what is it?
Probably 400.
Okay, 400. So they make this change. You post your ass off for the next 6 months, and in 6 months your average liked photo is 100. You're gonna just be over it. You're gonna be like, what am I doing this for? I don't care what people think of me or if people
Yeah.
see my likes. No one's seeing what I'm posting.
Yeah, that's the real problem.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake Instagram and Facebook made is throttle. I don't even understand why they decided to throttle people's posts. We would have still advertised on the platform.
Well, because they just want you to pay to keep reaching more and more.
I know, but influencers are never going to pay. It's
But-
brands that
yeah.
are going to build all their business. They made no point in throttling Drama's page or Taylor Parker's page. It was just stupid.
No, but it was just inventory. So they just wanted more inventory for ads. That's space in the feed, and they just want to get more.
They're trying to
ads
take
in
over
there.
everyone's feed. I mean, think of all the people that you follow that you don't see their pictures
I know,
anymore.
it's so, and I get pissed.
But so what I'm saying is, I think you're right? I think you're right that they underestimate how much time people will spend on Instagram, and you will look at everyone's photo that you follow, and you will unfollow if you don't like it, and you will still see all the ads.
Yes.
But instead of seeing that and seeing, wow, people are posting less, maybe we should fix that issue that
Yes.
started that. And I think it's probably that people are seeing no one likes their photos, so let's reshare it to more people. Instead of thinking that way, how do we make our product
Better.
more likable? They're
I don't
instead saying, why don't we hide the thing that
Yeah, I
shows
think they're like, we
people?
know we don't need to make it more likable for people of our age. They know we're not leaving. They know we're still opening the app 25 times
Yeah,
a
but
day.
We're not the
the
ones who's
future
going
of
to
their
make
business.
And the
Right.
future of the business does not want the pressure of likes, which is what they figured out.
I know, but they're not going to
it's
post
not the
if no
pressure.
one sees it.
They're going to
Exact-
see, like, I have 200,000 followers and I'm reaching
6,000.
5,000 people.
I think they figured it out. We'll see.
I like this. We got to make sure we circle back heavy
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
we got you on this one.
Yeah, this one's a fucking loser.
I think Instagram's going to be bigger
We got
than
our
ever.
loser of the week.
I think Instagram's going to be bigger than ever because of this change, and they've literally, like, mathematically
Well, we
figure
have to
this
see
out.
the
This
reach.
is good. I
Well,
like
I
this.
agree. I hear what Anand's saying with the data. They just have so much data. Like,
you
there's no
think
way they're
this-
not making good decisions based off all the data.
But all
they
that
have.
data doesn't. This is my point. That I don't. That where Anand and I just see things very differently. All of that data doesn't matter if people fundamentally don't think your product is
But
cool.
they might not even know what you think is like, what you like or think is cool. Like, you
But
might not
there's
even.
no
They know it
alternative.
before you know.
There's
They
no
know you have a
alternative.
crush on before you have a crush on them. They know so much on
So I
you.
agree with you. My point is, if you
Thank
see
you, Taylor.
that fundamentally the problem
Gotcha.
is right.
Smart
This is
people.
what we're all arguing. What we're all arguing is saying the reason why Instagram isn't as fun anymore is because I don't reach my own audience, and therefore my likes go down out of my control.
Yep.
Right. So it doesn't take a data scientist to see that. So now they have that information, they know that. But instead of now just showing your your stuff to more people, they're hiding, they're trying to trick you. And no one's that stupid. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. You can have all the data in the world. You're still making a really bad decision.
Yeah.
And companies like Movement and us and all this stuff that spend all the money because the platform is where our people are, we've built organic audiences, and we want to pay for ads, are just going to stop using it because they're not going to trick us. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
And they have all the data in the damn world. You know what I'm going to eat for dinner when I go home. But you don't know that I just want my fucking photo to be seen by more people?
Yeah, why can't his photo be seen by all his followers?
That's
Simple.
it.
Yeah,
Because
pay
they
for
can't
it,
show
you cheap
everyone's
fuck.
photo.
Exactly. That's insane.
Exactly.
Drama
I will
said,
pay for
Stop
it.
paying on Postmates and pay Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you know how
Pay
much more?
Lord Zuck
you know how much
and get
more?
your fucking photo
Instagram will
liked
be
more.
completely dead in 5 years.
It'll be what
I
Facebook
agree.
pages
There's
are.
no
Exactly
way.
what
I agree.
You guys
Facebook
are
pages
so
are.
It'll be Facebook.
I will
This is
piss on my IG
It'll be
page.
Facebook. I agree.
This is on it. Post on Instagram more than anyone I know.
I know, and it'll be dead.
I
It's
agree.
cool now, but
It's dead.
But where are you posting separately? There's no
There'll be something
alternative.
new. Something new will
Oh.
come.
I'll tell you what. I have 1.3 million followers, and I haven't posted on Instagram in a week. I spent a whole day making TikTok content last week.
Yeah,
Same
that's
thing with
that's
me
a
and
problem
LinkedIn.
for creators.
Tell President G send him your regards.
I absolutely will because the NBA did, and I'm with them.
Yes.
Well, since we're not making any money off of Instagram, let's try to make some money here. If we have any ads, run them. And we're back. Let's talk about all things technology and business. First up, Alibaba has their Singles Day, which is their version of Black Friday.
Yep.
They have reported, gosh, this seems like not even possible.
It's probably fake.
They have reported 13 billion in sales in the first hour of Singles Day, which is going on right now. So by the time you guys heard this podcast,
It's probably 100 billion.
it's 100 billion.
Yeah.
What?
I have
This
a question
is real?
for you. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Is this an Instagram thing?
No, it's not. Who would you believe? Alibaba or Netflix?
Netflix.
Who would I believe? I believe Alibaba. You want to know why I
Tom
believe?
is like consistent on his Chinese love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
TikTok.
I just know Alibaba's lying.
You want to know why? I think they're both lying, but I think that the gray area for what's considered a lie with Netflix is much bigger. Where Alibaba's like product. Like Netflix could literally just be auto playing after
So-
you fall asleep, passed out with Cheetos in your lap, binge watching, and they're like, "Oh, he watched 17 hours straight
Yeah.
of,"
Yeah, that's fair.
you know.
So Singles Day is Alibaba's big day, 11/11 in China. It's interesting. So the numbers are huge. Maybe about 5 years ago, I spent a bunch of time in China because I wanted to launch 5/4 there, and
Oh, you spent a bunch of time in China, huh?
I did.
Who were you hanging out with?
TikTokers.
So in
Maybe he's been
Asia,
turned.
influencers are not called influencers. They're
They're
called
called gods.
KOLs,
What's that?
key opinion leaders.
So much more official.
Yeah, so
I'd
everyone's
way
like,
rather be a-
Dude, there are people. This is my first meeting when I was like meeting the marketing company. Like, so do you have any KOLs? I was like, is that like a visa? What is that?
Oh man,
So-
I like that term a lot better.
Yeah, so key opinion leaders is a big thing in Asia. But what I realized was on Singles Day specifically for Alibaba, most of the brands lose a fortune. So they're
because they discount so heavily.
They
or-
discount so heavily. It's not like someone who now participated in one Prime Day. We didn't lose any money on Prime Day. We made money, but I don't think in Asia that's the main focus. The main focus is get as many people to buy your product. It doesn't matter how much it costs to do it. Just do it. And so Alibaba's always going to have these big numbers. Who knows what's real, what's not? Are they counting shipping? I mean, like, it just could be like, we just don't know with this company and the fact that it's based in China. It's huge numbers. Obviously, Chinese e-commerce is big. I'm sure everyone there loves. No one is buying Rockets jerseys on Singles Day.
Big LeBron jerseys.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. The number is almost irrelevant for us.
I mean, 13 billion in 1 hour is just like impossible to even fathom. Yeah. Like, what, you do $1 trillion for Singles Day? Oh my God. Okay, moving on. Let me tell you the hard thing about being a journalist, which we all three are, whether we like it or not. Is
Shut the fuck up, Pete.
heard a little bit of a
Like you're in the room.
heard a chuckle over there from Pete.
I just went to journalism school, so
Did you really?
yeah.
Oh, man.
You can't
And you
write.
ended
You
up
didn't even
here?
look at my resume when you hired me.
No, because I was like, can I hang out with this guy or not?
Yeah. Damn, Pete, of all the people in the room,
Pete's
Pete's the one who
I
went to
You went
journalism.
to journalism school?
A
I
young
graduated
Khashoggi.
from
Young
the journalism
Khashoggi over
school
here.
with a degree in strategic communications.
What'd you learn?
What did I learn?
He doesn't know how to
not
write.
shit. Yeah, I don't know how to fucking write. You can bullshit that shit. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Man, that's good shit. At least we have a real journalist.
Why aren't you
around.
editing the newsletter? Like, what are you doing?
He said he
I
doesn't know how to
can't
write.
The journalism school has 2 routes.
He didn't learn anything.
He learned the
he
Instagram
learned to be
editing.
an influencer and like show up and like take
Yeah.
photos of famous people.
Yeah, it worked.
How easy is that? You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, he's probably made it further already than most of his classmates.
yes,
Yeah.
a lot further.
If you counted like numbers, group chat, what he's working on, he killed it. They
You're
probably
welcome.
I
have his
also
photo,
like hardly get any sleep
they have his
and
photo
no
on
days
the wall
off.
back at the classroom.
They've
Pete.
actually asked me to come back and speak at
Yeah,
a
a
convention.
great alumni.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're not paying for a flight.
here's the problem. Here's the problem and the burden of being a journalist is, you can't play favorites. And and when it comes to close friends that have companies that we talk about on this podcast, unfortunately, we have to be fair.
Yep.
Talking about Revolve.
Yes.
Good friends of ours. We've talked about them a lot on this pod. We've also done a lot of pods with them. They reported earnings last week and took a bit of a hit to their stock price. So I felt like it's only right that we talk about it. And by we, I mean D, because I want to keep my friendship.
I want my discount code. If you want to forfeit your discount
Coachella,
code,
I want to make sure I get into the party fine.
So here's the thing. Their stock went down on Friday after the earnings report. And a couple things. One, it appears that some of their private brands have a little bit of bloated inventory. It appears that they have some margin pressure. And it also looks like the top line sales are still very healthy. They're still profitable. The overall business still looks really, really good. But I think what scared people was, from what I read or what I heard, was that their private label inventory seemed high and that their private label business had some margin issues. So unfortunately, when you're a public company, you get punished for it. And I think one of the stories that they were selling was one of the stories that I believe in, at least, is their private label business. And they do have brands that resonate with people. But this is the challenge with being a publicly traded company. You have to report every single quarter. Unfortunately, quarterly results aren't reflective of the annual vision or future vision, and you have to deal with it. And it's really interesting to watch close friends go through it. I mean, obviously, I still believe in the company. I got like 500 DMs of like, you scored me on the Revolve stock. I'm like, it's been 6 months. Like, we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you should personally refund all those people.
All right, And we got to work on the legal disclaimer that makes sure
I'm
everyone
sure,
knows we are
I'm sure we're
not.
violating a lot of laws.
I'm sure we didn't recommend the stock, but people just bought it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's been 6 months since they've been public. You have to wait and see long term how companies perform. If you believe in it, you understand it, you think what they're doing, you have to wait. You have to wait a year, you have to wait 2 years, 3 years. Things just take time. If you look at the first year of Anand's favorite company, Facebook, was a disaster. Epic disaster. It got cut in half.
Yeah. I remember
IPO
Anand was
price.
real unhappy that year.
Yeah. So if Facebook got cut in half, like you have to be understanding of. Usually, it takes a moment for a brand new publicly traded company to figure out what it's like to be a publicly traded company. So it's interesting to see how they're going to handle it, how they're going to correct themselves from it. I obviously believe in the business, believe in their brands, and know just from an outsider's perspective, what they're doing is unique and special. So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that pressure.
No, I can't imagine the pressure of every 3 months having to report to
You
Wall
have a
Street.
bad quarter. You miss guests on your inventory. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. I'm not a
Yeah.
stock guy, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
if that's
no.
what happened, you overestimated your inventory.
I don't envy anyone that is a public company executive that has to report to Wall Street.
Imagine
It
if I was
seems
publicly
miserable.
traded. Man, we're out here crushing
Oh my
that
god,
shit.
you would be publicly traded for
No,
2
he'd
months.
be in jail.
It'd be
Dude,
one
be in jail.
podcast. Yeah, he would. He
He'd
would.
be in jail.
Yeah, he'd be giving stock picks. He'd be insider trading on the podcast. Yo, we're about to crush earnings tomorrow,
Yeah, you need
guys.
to buy that shit.
It's like
We
Gary
about to go to
V.
the moon.
Gary V.
Brown Friday's gonna be hot.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, one Brown Friday, you're removed.
He's with Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
I mean, not quite.
Oh my god. Okay, we gotta end this. There's
Yeah.
one last story.
Okay.
Mark Burnett, very famous producer, produced shows like The Apprentice, Survivor, big shows. Has a new big hustle. Him and his wife, it looks like.
Yeah.
They're looking to raise $100 million for this new project because they believe in it so much. The project is, well, I'll just start with this. It's a streaming service, which seems very on trend. It's what everyone knows that's the future. However, he's taking a different approach. His is a Christian streaming service.
Yeah.
And he believes that there's a huge market for a Christian-focused streaming platform. Seems a little Jesus is kingy to me, but maybe I'm wrong. If I was him, I would get Kanye on board now.
I love it. I think it's genius. I think when I think of streaming is a very competitive market. Streaming is essentially starting your own TV channel, right? And there's so many avenues of content. When I think about what's available,
Wouldn't you say, I'm sorry to interrupt, wouldn't
Yeah.
you say streaming is more like creating your own television network?
yeah,
Like it's so
I
much
think
more
stre-
demand than,
I
I
think
would say a
streaming
Christian
is like-
channel.
I think it's a channel.
I know, but I would say like,
I think streaming's like back in the day, just more financially equipped companies starting apps. Like everyone wanted to start an app 10 years ago.
Yeah. But I'm just saying when it comes to the demand of content, what I'm saying is, I think if you were starting a new big Christian channel, maybe that could work because it's a smaller demand. A streaming platform just seems like, is there really that much demand for Christian content that an entire platform could
I
survive?
think if you do the right content, like if you told me that Jesus is King is only on Mark Burnett's,
Yeah, but this is an utter failure.
I'm just saying, like
this
let's
is an
just say-
utter failure. If you want to sell Christian content, sell it to one of the platforms that exist that already have the people.
I mean, here's the thing. I think there's a big enough audience. It doesn't have to be a $500 billion business, but it could be a $100 million business. There's enough Christian people on this earth that want to experience that content.
But what are you going to charge? Because the Christian people are paying for Disney.
yeah.
Christian
But
people
Christian,
probably.
let's say if you're a religious person, you are donating.
yeah, but he's
some
raising
mon-
$100 million.
So
if he's raising $100 million, he's probably a $500 million company, $600 million company.
So I mean, there's a lot of bullshit companies. Peloton's worth a few billion. It's trash.
Yeah. So you don't believe in Peloton? Why would you believe in this Christian?
Because I
service?
think religion is way bigger than standing in a bike that goes nowhere.
Yeah, but
We've just proven
made-
Christianity
you just
has tested the time.
Yeah, but you're
Staying in a stationary bike has not.
The way you made your point was just refuted why you think Christian would work.
I do think Christianity. I think there's a market for it. There's 100% market.
I just
for
wonder
it.
if it's that big. That's my only thing. If
It's a
you
big
made,
ass religion.
It's massive.
I think
I
it's a
know,
big.
but that's just the thing. Is
I'm
that
not talking
I
about
think it's a big-
Christianity. I'm talking about. Let me ask you
I
this.
think Christian content can work within one of the existing platforms.
I'm saying
No.
right
No,
now. No,
it
this
can't.
is
They
what I'm
don't.
saying.
You know why? Because they don't want to be associated with those.
Yeah.
Those
Christians are
But
very.
this is what I'm
Christian-
saying. Let me just say one thing. What I'm saying is the market isn't that big. Not that the religion isn't that big. And if the market is that big, name me 5 current pieces of content that are Christian based that are.
But that's the problem is because they
There
can't get
isn't.
onto networks because they don't have the budgets to get onto those networks.
Yeah.
But you can still have a bunch of shitty.
So instead
Christian
of
content.
having the need to get the viewership and get all that, they just have their own platform.
Yes.
Doesn't require all the viewership. They only get on your local channels because that's the only thing they can actually get on because of the cost.
true Christian talking. I like that.
I was raised in that shit. I don't practice it no more,
So
but
the
I'm
only,
raised in it.
the only thing I'll
Enough to
say
know.
is Mark Burnett created our current president.
He
So
he
maybe
put
he's
it in the
on-
White House.
Maybe he's onto something.
And he apparently has the N-word tapes and won't release them. I just want to put that out
and
there.
I don't believe in this concept, so maybe D does. Good for
If
him.
you
I
guys
believe it.
pay my yearly salary right now, I will go find those tapes.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
if you only had the power, I would pay it 3 times over.
Mark Brunette is so tight with Trump.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if when Donald Trump leaves the White House, he's on the board of this Christian network, and it fucking works.
Do Christians still like Trump?
Are you joking?
Do they?
I think.
What do you think
Trump
is in
just
Alabama?
gonna- Trump's
White
just trying to
people.
avoid jail
Christian.
post presidency.
Yeah, Trump's
he's
just
just staying.
trying to
He's
get
just
out of the
staying in
handcuffs.
office.
No.
Stay in office, die, or jail.
I
Those
just
are
this is
his
my only
options.
point. I just to put it out there and then finish for me is, I think when you add up your Disney subscription, your Netflix, your whatever, the same reason why Christian content now has no place, because it's just last. Unfortunately, there's not the demand for it.
I disagree. I don't think there's been the right platform for those people.
But how come they're not? How come there's not like one of the biggest categories on YouTube isn't Christian content?
Because there's probably not an area to create it. Like you have to foster that. It's such a big religion. The right environment isn't.
So you should
But
do
there's a
Muslim
market
content.
for like Asian
So
girls
I thought
eating
that same
soup on
thing.
camera.
There should be a Muslim content
Yes,
streaming.
there should be. I think it's a
It's
massive.
way bigger than Christianity.
No, I don't know. It's probably
No,
the same
it's
size.
it's bigger.
Google it.
I don't
Google it.
need to Google it.
Google it.
I'm Ubering right now. I don't need to Google it.
Google it. I don't think it is.
Okay. All right,
It's
well,
faster growing because of
Listen,
the
unfortunately, we don't get
population
along much on our Sunday episodes, but we got a lot of good debates for the listeners to
I
weigh
mean, the
in
number
on.
one album in America is a Christian album, is it not?
No, you talking about Jesus the King? That's not a Christian album.
It is.
The only people listening to that, I'm convinced now. If you look at the charts now, everything completely fell off the map. That was only Curiosity and Kanye fans seeing what the fuck Kanye is up to.
Did you see that? Do you see that it was voted on in churches, on like whether they like it or not, like in Christian churches?
What'd they say?
Yeah, there was like, this is lit, this is not, and it was like voted on in church.
What did they vote?
I don't even know. It
think
was just
every
showed me like a
church-
screenshot of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
somebody taking a photo.
But I was
like-
giving you an example. My parents' church in Akron, Ohio, has not said the word Kanye West or.
No, but it's
Jesus
for
the King.
young people.
I know, but I'm just saying those listeners. He didn't pull out of the woodwork Christians that weren't Kanye fans. Is my argument. I think it's all. If Kanye put out any album, it could have literally farted into a microphone, and it would have been top 10 for the week on iTunes.
That's
Would've
what he
been
did
number
with
one.
Whoopity Scoopity Poop.
Yeah, and it
Would've been
worked.
number one.
Literally,
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
out of his ass.
Okay. All right, guys. What do we, Taylor? Do we know what we were writing about?
We're writing about Logan Paul
As we should.
and how awesome he is and how he owns the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're also writing about how hot it is in the studio.
It's so hot, man.
Sweating.
It's so
I have a
hot.
sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
And we didn't even announce Tim. We got a new engineer, Tim.
Yeah.
Holding
He's
it
doing
down.
amazing
Tim,
on
come on.
shit.
Shout out to
So
Tim.
everyone, let us know how the quality of the audio is on this episode because it should
it's-
be significantly better.
If it's not, what's his Instagram?
Tim, what's your Instagram?
Tim-Gamache.
Hyphen or underscore?
I might be underscore.
He doesn't. Tim doesn't know the QWERTY
We'll put it in
keyboard
the-
too well.
We'll put it in the description. Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at Group Chat Pod. Let us know what you thought, where you stand on our debates. If you're with Anand on Facebook or if you're with D on Christianity,
I stand with Christianity.
and subscribe to our newsletter, group-chat.com. And if you really, really like us and really want to do us a huge favor, go give us a rating and review on the iTunes Store or the podcast app. Thank you, guys. Have a good week.